week. Only 3 were there. But we did the class in India. I was wondering like what happened. Normally you are not like that. Then I realized that you had like a 2-hour break. And now it's a long weekend in India. The assignment. Yeah, I got late because I got stuck in the traffic. I don't know where these people are going even Saturday. Just give me a minute, I don't get the slides. Okay, very good afternoon to you, both the physical class and the virtual class. Hope I am audible to the virtual class. For the virtual class, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Thank you for responding. So my apology, I'm late like 10 minutes or so, but I won't catch it up from the last one. We are on time for the syllabus, so you don't need to be worried. Yeah. And since most of you were not there last week, like the last week we confirmed the assignment date. It was 25th of this month. Isn't it? The ones those who were there last week? So only 3 were there. That 3 is not there today, it seems like. And like the ones in the virtual class, were you there last week? Were you there last week? Any of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Chandran, you were there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we confirm it was 25th, which means the last day of your semester.
Yes. 25th.
Yeah, it's, the assignment date is 25th. So that means 25th you don't have you do have the classes. It's not me, I'm taking the class. That's you have to go ahead in the presentation. So then I'll be your audience and I'm going to ask a question from you because I just want to make sure that you have to give me a minute. I want to get help from someone. Can you please open? Okay, so you have to submit your report beforehand. Beforehand, in a sense, like if I'm going to take the presentation on 25th, 24th midnight, and make sure the link is ready for you to go for the submissions. Anything that you want to clarify regarding the assignment? Because time to time I'm getting some WhatsApp messages which I'm replying. Other than that, if you have anything, like you can ask from me now. So you are pretty much comfortable with the assignment. You are clear that what I'm expecting, and also probably you might have already done or you might have already started. So you must start now, otherwise you won't be able to finish that. And keep in your mind like it is for 50 marks. Not 40, it's for 50 marks, so that the weight is something you have to be very concerned, and I'm also a bit concerned, okay? Because I just gave one assignment, otherwise like I don't want to give like a couple of assignments and make people the more pressurized, so that's why I just gave one assignment. So do your maximum for that assignment, okay? Because it's, even though it's having two parts like presentation and the other report, but it's more or less the same thing. So what you have there in the presentation is the one that you are presenting. So then, even though it's, since I want to just keep it as two parts, so that's why I kept it as two parts. Otherwise, like originally, it's just one assignment. So therefore, it's worth for you to put your effort for that one, because it's worth for 50 marks instead of like coming for quiz and then another individual assignments and those kinds. Then it's going to be a hassle for you. Okay, the last week, in fact. I hope the last week video has already been uploaded. Can someone check whether it's been uploaded? Hope you are settled down for the class. You want some more time to settle down? Is it okay for me to take the class? Ah, yes, yes. You were there last week. I thought one was there last week. And the other two used to take a seat this time, but apparently those two. Ah, yeah, you're also there. Yes. So there were only one who was in India. So the last week, what we did was, is it okay? Have you fully settled down? Is it okay for me to take the class? Am I audible, especially for those who are sitting at the very back? Am I audible, those who are sitting at the very back? And I hope it's okay for the virtual class. Okay, last week what we did was, we started discussing. Can someone check whether the video has been uploaded? And have you gone through the video? No. Because we cover up very important areas, so that's why I'm a little bit worried, otherwise I'm just letting go. It's there. Okay. So you must watch that one. Okay? It's not should, you must. Okay? Because like if you are taking marketing syllabus, that consists of basically two parts. The first part is like, as I told you, in your syllabus for the bachelor's level, if you take the what the marketing manager is doing, like first understand the marketplace, and then after that design the strategies to match the target requirement, and then implement and control. So implementation part and the controlling part we don't take for the undergraduate syllabus. So that is we keep for the master's level. But for the undergraduates, we take the understanding the marketplace and also developing strategies, that planning side only. For the understanding the marketplace, we have discussed a lot, like some the fundamental knowledge like co-marketing concepts, marketing and the role of marketing, those parts where we have discussed. And also we discussed like the marketing philosophy, that is also for that part. And in terms of understanding the marketplace, we also discuss like marketing environment in a broader sense. And then we discuss like the consumer behavior separately and also competition separately. So that is for the first step. And then for developing the strategies, which has two parts. So one is STP strategy, where since we can't offer just one product in a way match to everyone, what we have to do is we take all the people, put them into small groups. So that's what we call segmenting. Then analyze those groups and see whether, okay, which one that is more profitable for us to offer our product. So that is what we call targeting. Then once we have selected the target market, we have to decide, okay, like this is how we want to position our brand in that selected group of customers' mind. So that is what we call positioning. So in short we call as STP. That is one part of strategy. And the other part of strategy, now you have a particular positioning statement or positioning strategy. Now you want to make that positioning strategy in practice. You have to basically deliver it. So if you are saying that, okay, we want to be a superior product for a particular market, now you want to offer a superior thing. Okay. So what you promise in the positioning statement, now you have to deliver it. So in terms of delivering, we basically should design our product. Also, we have to put a price for it, and then we have to decide where we are going to keep that product for people to purchase it. And at last, like how we are going to promote it. So basically, we call it as 4P strategies if it is a physical product. But if it is a service, it is a little bit the comprehensive, because you have to worry about the people factor. So which kind of people that we are using to deliver our service. And also you have to worry about the process steps that the customer should follow. And also the environment, physical environment, just to show that you are providing a good quality service. Okay. So then if you are adding people, process and the physical evidence to that previous 4 P's, then it becomes 7 P's. Okay. So then now we are supposed to design either 4 P's or 7 P strategies for your level, like basically we focusing on the 4 P's. But 7 P's I introduced, like then out of that 4 P's, last week we started discussing product. Okay. So in the product, this one we discussed, like already we have discussed this as well, different versions of products are there. I'm not just taking you through. And also that's a matter of a combination of the tangible and intangible. And this is very important. So the levels of the product, also we call it as customer value hierarchy, like not this one, I gave a separate note because this is the conventional 3 levels, but in the class last week we discussed 5 levels. Okay. So like whenever we are giving a the product to our customer base, originally we said that we don't give any product, rather we give a value. Can you remember? We don't buy any product as customers, rather we buy the value attached to it. So if that is the case, now we are supposed to design the value. Whenever we are designing the value, so we have to design the value in terms of different levels. So that is what we call customer value hierarchy. So there we said that 5 levels are there. Core benefit is the very basic, the requirement, like if you take a mobile phone, the core requirement is communication. And then the next level is basic product. So in the basic product means what are the basic features required to provide the core benefit? Like for you to give a communication, what should be the basic features? You have to have a dialing pad, you have a display, and the mics and the power supply, the SIM. Those are the basic features. I'm going a little fast because we have already covered up last week. Okay. And the other one is expected product. So the expected product means when you want to go for a mobile phone, what are the expected features? So you might say that I need this much of RAM, I need this much of the capacity, I need the 4G, or else so you would say that I need 5G. They'll say that, okay, I need a battery at least that's run for a day. I need the battery charging the speed like this. So likewise, you may go with certain specifications, and even if you say that, okay, I need the camera with this kind of a megapixel. Okay. So that is expected product. And the other level is augmented product, where like we give beyond the customer expected. So customer don't expect it, but we give something extra. Like say for an example, if a particular company is giving the 1 year any warranty, when all the other companies are giving 1 year manufactured warranty, and your company is going to give 1 year any warranty. It's something additional. So the additional means augmented feature. Normally we use that augmented feature to differentiate our product from the rest of the competitors. So we call it as POD, point of difference. So And then the last level is the potential product, where the potential product means like in future, how you can add value to that product. Like sometime you may create a flexible display, sometime it could be solar powered mobile phone, so sometime it could be a little bit of flexibility to the mobile phone. I don't know, in which whatever the version, in the future how you can add the value. So that is potential which has not yet come to the market, still at the research and development stage. But once it's being introduced by a particular company, it becomes augmented. Like if we take Toyota, so once it's in the initial stage of research and development for the hybrid engines, it's a potential feature because it has not yet come to the market. But once Toyota introduces it, for the Toyota brand, the hybrid engine is an augmented feature where the people didn't expect those days. But now what has happened? Once it's been introduced by other competitors, now we expect it. So when you are going for a vehicle, you expect it should be hybrid. So why it has become? Because of the competition that has become popularized and also people expect it. It's been copied to the expected feature. So then we discuss like the potential to augmented to expected, that's always evolving. We are borrowing from the next level. Understand? But the core benefit and the basic feature won't change. If it is a vehicle is for transportation. To provide the transportation, you have to have an engine, you have to have a gearbox, you have to have a four wheels, you have to have a seats, you have to have a covered body, that won't change. So the basic and the core benefit won't change, that's fixed. But always expectations are changing. You are getting the expectations from the augmented and the augmented getting the ideas from the potential. So that's what we discuss, and also we combine it with the POP and the POD. So it's so many technical things that we discussed last week, unfortunately. So if we take POD means the point of difference. So we are using some of the features to distinguish our brand from the others. Augmented level and the potential level reflect the POD, because augmented means additional thing. Okay, so that additional thing are the one that we are using. Okay, because of this one we are different. But like expected, basic, and the core, they are not a differentiating point. They are POP, point of parity. So that means when you are designing something, you must have those ones. POP is must. But POD is the point where that you're making yourself different. Like even POP is also, it's having two versions. Either you want to be in the product category or else you want to be with the competition. If you want to be in the product category, you must fulfill the basic requirements. If it is a vehicle, the car, there should be four wheels. It should be a covered body. It should be with some basic features. That is essential. That's a POP to get the membership of the category. Otherwise, you won't recognize it as a car. But you want to fulfill the POP for the competition. I know that it looks like Greek for you, but at least once you listen to me and then once you are listening to the video, you'll get to know. Then once you go to the POP for the expected feature, that because you want to be in the competition. Now suppose that if you want to buy a mobile phone, now you are expecting certain features. So whoever coming up with the mobile phone should have those features. Otherwise people won't purchase it. Understand? So that is not for the communication, but for the competition. Otherwise you can't survive in the competition. So that also we just combine, like we discuss about the 5 levels. And also we discussed the first 2 static, other 3 evolving. And also we discussed like how POP and the POD is matching with this ones. POD match with the augmented and also this borrowing from the potential. But the POP matches with the expected for the competition, basic for the being in the category. And also we took the example like there was a vehicle. In Sri Lanka you might have seen 3 wheels but the covered body. So it's fail. It's a failure product because it has tried to bring the novelty, but it's failed because you have violated the POP. If it is a car, if you want to get the membership of the car category, you have to have it with 4 wheels. So it doesn't, even though it has a covered body, it doesn't have the 4 wheels. Then whoever wants to buy a car will not go for that one. And the 3 wheels, we know that if it is a 3 wheel, from the name itself, that's 3 wheels, but the body is not a covered body. So then it failed to get the membership of the 3 wheel category also. It's nowhere. So whoever wants to buy a 3 wheel also won't go to that product. So it's a fail. So that's why I say that if you are designing something, you have to keep this in your mind. Like, since you are corporates, it's very essential, because in your company, sometimes people will come up with some ideas to show that they are novel and show that it's creative. But always keep in your mind, like, there are certain products that has already been positioned and like concrete in the people's mind that you can't change. You can change to show the creativity, but people won't accept it. So keep that in your mind. You don't touch that one. If you want to bring the novelty, do to the augmented level, but keep that one. And also we discuss another example from Sony. So Sony, it's like, this is a Sri Lankan one. So it's a local example. Even the Sony, which has been the good brand, that also failed. 3 in 1. They made a product, very ancient time, like the radio, if I'm not mistaken, radio, thermometer, and the camera. All 3 in 1 unit, like a small unit, fail. Because whoever wants to get a camera, it didn't come to their mind. Whoever wants to get a radio, it didn't come to their mind. Whoever wants to get the thermometer, it didn't come to their mind. Okay? 3 unrelevant products, try to put it into one, fail. So therefore, you should always understand, like, we can bring the novelty. So make sure how we are going to design it in a way, in a different value levels. So therefore, this is very, very practical, and also, like, as a practitioners, you must know how to align those values and in which level that you can make a difference and which level that you should not touch. Even if you touch, it's a failure touch. Understand? Okay. That we discuss, and also we discuss like different types of consumer products, like convenient product, shopping, specialty, and unsold. Also, we discuss like the product portfolio. Like, if we take some companies like this, which has, these ones are product lines. 3 lines are there, and the width means 3. That means number of product lines are the ones that we call as a width. And these the items in all these lines, we got like somewhere in 40, if I'm not mistaken. Like, this matter of counting all these things and add all these together, that is the length. And the depth means, like, if we take a particular item, how many versions it has. Like Lux, it's having 4 colors, then the depth of Lux is 4. That also we discussed, and then we started discussing branding. Also we discussed, like, it's from the buyer's point of view and the seller's point of view, it's good. And also we discussed, like, brand doesn't necessarily be a name, because there are a lot of brands, world leading brands, it doesn't have a name, but still you identify, like Apple, Nike, the Pepsi, Shell, the Firefox. It doesn't have a name, but still we know it. So it doesn't necessarily be a name. Then we discuss that, of course, I can't remember. Have we discussed this one or not? No. We start from here. No? Yeah. Okay. So now, once we design the product, it needs to have a brand, okay, because of these reasons. Okay. And when we are making, from this point onwards, I'm starting the today's class. And keep in your mind, like, for the customer value hierarchy, I ask students to have 3 asterisk marks. So that means it's very essential for the exam. So now we have like the branding. When a brand manager or the marketing manager is making the branding decision, first decision that they have to make is whether the brand is required or not. Don't you think that it's a very conventional the question to ask today? Is a brand required or not? Do you think that in the current era we have some products that's been selling without the brand? Otherwise, this is a kind of a stupid question. If obviously all the products are coming with the brand, so obviously the marketing manager would say that no, we should have to have a brand. But there may be some instances where the product is coming without a brand. Some example. Yes, the breads are coming without the brand. That's true. What else? Even like loose rice, bulk sugar, bulk dal, bulk coconut oil. So like what we get from the tap doesn't have a brand. So therefore, like still it's a world decision whether you are going to have the brand with the brand or without the brand. Okay. Then we have to decide, okay, if we decided, okay, well, let's go with the brand, then we have to select and protect the brand. So in terms of selecting the brand, there are certain the criteria that we have to adhere to, but it is not a must. Okay. I'll take you through one by one. So it says that if you are putting a brand, it's better if it is related to benefits and the qualities. That means brand should reflect the benefit or brand should reflect the qualities. Some example, the brand that reflecting the benefit. Brand says what you are getting out of the product. Even virtual class students also can contribute. Surf Excel. Yes, it has a kind of a clue. Yeah. Some other example? Yes, Sparsilon. Yes. It's reflect what is the product category and also what you basically get out of it. Yes, it's very good. That's also come. We can take as an example. Some more.
Velvet. So
yes, velvet. Because it says as well, if you use velvet, it makes your skin smooth as velvet. Yes. Sunlight, bright as sunlight, isn't it? Okay. So likewise, that is one way. Like whenever you are putting a brand, what you are getting out of the product, you can reflect from the brand, but it is not a must. Okay. Like there are some brands, it doesn't have any relevant to the product or anything relevant to the benefit that you are getting out of the product, but still performing well. Some universal brands even. Not only limited to Sri Lankan context. Apple, yes. Apple, it doesn't have any link to mobile phone and technologies, and Apple is a fruit. Understand? Because if you just go and, of course, nowadays, even if you ask from the nursery, the kid, they will say that Apple means Apple phone. Okay. So otherwise, Apple is a fruit. Okay. So that means it has not fulfilled this criteria. So that's why I said that this is not a must, but something you can consider. Now you can imagine like how strong the Apple positioning strategy. Apple being a fruit, but if you say apple, people know that yeah, it's referring to a mobile phone. It's not referring to a fruit. So if you say that oh, I bought apple means, so it doesn't mean that you have purchased apple fruit. So it means that it's a kind of an implied. You see how powerful it is. in the mind. So that part has been deleted from the brain by the Apple company, saying that this is a mobile phone, this is not a fruit. It's a very challenging the decision, by the way. So, but they have successful around the globe. The other thing is, whenever you are putting a name, that should be something easy to pronounce, recognize, and remember. If you can't pronounce, then it's a bit difficult to recognize and remember as well. There are some brands. There was one brand even in Sri Lanka. So you don't know, like when I was small, that brand is there. Like it was a jam. The brand is Clementi Chance. The name of the brand is Clementi Chance jam. Okay? So it's hard to pronounce for the majority. And those days, like the supermarket concept was not there. So if the supermarket concept was not there, then the people reluctant to say that brand because it makes kind of a funny, even if you pronounce it in a different way. So you become a funny character in the shop. Okay? So people like refuse pronouncing it, so the product failed. The Clementi Chance jam is no more available in the Sri Lankan market. But nowadays, someone would say that this is not something relevant because you don't need to pronounce it. Because of the modern trade concept, it's just a matter of taking the cart and just check the shelves. And if you okay and take it, and you don't need to tell the brand, but make sure it should be something rememberable. Why this remembering thing is important? Why we want to remember the brand? To purchase, and we say that in the consumer behavior, I haven't discussed that part to you, but since that came along with this one. So in our mind, if we take like say soft drink, so we know that like if I ask you to write down 20 soft drink brands, you know it. You know, like maybe 20 soft drink brands are operating in Sri Lanka. But when you want to have a soft drink, that 20 won't come to your mind. Understand? Only very few brands are coming to your mind. So that very few brands, we say that evokes it. Evokes it. So that means in our brain, so many brands are there, but only few brands that is coming top of the mind. Very few, less than 5. That is evoke set. We are picking up the brand from the evoke set, not from anywhere. So all the companies are in a competition to include their brand into the evoke set of the people's mind. Then only it comes to your mind, okay, if I want to go for a brand, soft drink, whatever comes first, you go for it. So that's why remembering ability is something very essential. So that's why some say that, oh my God, it didn't come to my mind. This is in some cases like you may come across like you have purchased it, but then after purchasing it, then someone else said, why did you go for that brand? Then you say, oh my God, I forgot. So that means that brand is not there in your evoke set. That's why the Coca-Cola is still advertising. Otherwise, no point. Everyone knows what is it. It's a well-established brand, but they are very afraid if the people take the Coca-Cola out of the evoke set. They're investing huge amount of money because you are the accountants, you are in the finance discipline, and when the marketing people are coming up with the promotional plan, then you would be wondering that we are already leader. So why you are spending this much of money? Because of this. They are afraid that if people forget it, then all your investment is going to be a waste. Okay, if you want to take down anything, just take down from the second point. Easy to pronounce, recognize, and remember. So the pronunciation is required because if it is difficult to pronounce, then it won't come to the top of the mind. Remembering ability is required because people purchase a particular brand, out of the evoke set. out of the evoked set in the mind. Only remembered brands are the ones included in the evoke set. Evoke, E-V-O, evoke, K-E, evoke set. Then you say that evoke set is the few brands, evoke set is the few brands that comes top of the mind. When you want to purchase a particular product. So in layman language, it says that if you want to go for a soft drink, what are the brands that comes to your mind? It's less than 5. And the other one is your brand should be certainly different from the others, distinctive. So that's obvious. So otherwise, you can't. It's like you are promoting somebody else's brand as well, because if you are putting a kind of a similar brand. And the other criteria is like extendable. Okay, it's something like this. What is the meaning of extendable? Means you should be able to extend for the other categories. First listen to me, then after that I'll give you the notes. Like whenever we are putting a brand, make sure you don't know in the future, because we say that the product is something we manufacture in the factory, but the brand is something that you write on the minds of the customers. The brand is more important than the product. So sometimes the product fail and product die, but the brand will go from generation to generation. It's like the surname, isn't it? We will die one day, but like general, as per the Asian continent, like the male surname will evolve for the generations. Okay. Same like that, a product may die, but the brand you can use in the future. So therefore, you have to be very careful. Like some example in Sri Lanka, Rexona soap. Soap no more available. I told you reason, isn't it? In the class, can you remember that I said the reason why the Rexona soap is no more available in Sri Lankan market? It was a Unilever product, like Lux and Rexona. Those were the leading brands when I was small. So still Lux is going, but not the Rexona, because wrong positioning strategy. Mother and the daughter looks like the same. That was their positioning strategy. Okay. So they were speaking to the mothers, but they forget that the daughters are also listening. So mother looks like a daughter, but daughter certainly doesn't like to be look like a mother. Understand? Like why you are telling something, but the people interpret in a different way. Fair. So, but the Rexona brand is still there. The deodorant. So they are using it for deodorant. Okay. So therefore, like whenever you are putting a brand, it's not the product important. The brand is very important, because at least even if the product died, you can use it. So likewise, whenever putting a brand, remember you should be able to extend it for another product category. Signal is a good example. Started with the toothpaste, now they are using for toothbrushes also. Understand? Some other good examples which has the extendability as a brand that comes with a particular product category, but it's extending to another product category, either related or not related. Now I give one example. Signal. The Sri Lankan. It's a Sri Lankan. Is it a Sri Lankan or like it's a? I don't know. It's the toothpaste. Some other example. Even Apple, it has a very good extendability. We have Apple phone and Apple iPhone and also Apple laptops. That's it. Yeah, AirPods, yes. It's also having a very good extendability. Some
charger also separate.
yeah, they have the same brand and their charger. It's like they have gone to the related and not related both. And some brands are there like the extendability is not there. You can't extend. That means why you can't extend? The people have like a concrete perception. This brand is for this category. Bata. You can't use Bata for any other places. Bata means Bata. Rubber slippers. Okay. That even it has not worn for a related category of other slippers. That may be one of the reasons why the Bata can't come out. It's highly linked with the product, that because the first one, it's highly attached to the product category. That is also not something good. Another favorite example from Sri Lankan context, Cargill's. For us, Cargill's is a supermarket, but they put a bank is not that successful. Understand? So therefore, make sure that if you are highly link the brand to the product category, it's damage the extendability. And there was another case like the Godrej. If I say Godrej, what comes to your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hair dye. Okay. So then it's an Indian-based company. So they want to introduce a soap for the Sri Lankan market. So then they did the research. Of course, we from our university, the research team is the one that we handle that project. And then first they want to make a decision like whether they are going with the Godrej brand because it's a well-established brand. Okay, they can make use of that advantage. Okay. So then we just did a research and realized that the Godrej is highly attached with the hair dye. And also people have a kind of perception, it's not a kind of perception, people perceive that it has a chemical. Because hair dye anyway it has a chemical. So then we propose that if you are using the Godrej for the soap, it will fail. Because people are afraid to use soap, like to apply to the body if it is having a chemical. So that we recommend, don't go with the same brand because the Godrej doesn't have the extendability. It's highly attached with the hair dye category. You can't use for other product categories. So that they use a different brand called Synthol. CIN, Synthol. So with the black back, with the silver, the name. So it's available in the supermarket in a different brand, but like the brand is Synthol, like a small logo they say Godrej. Because they want to build up the corporate brand as well. So it's Godrej doesn't have the extendability. Some are having extendability, but they make sure it's better to have the extendability because you can get the benefit out of the existing brands. Take it down. Brand should be able to extend. Brand should be able to extend to another category, either related or not. Either related or not. Then example, extendable brands. Example, extendable brands, small dash, Signal, from toothpaste to toothbrushes. Apple, you just write down all the versions of the Apple brand that is having. Mobile phones to iPhone and iPhones to the laptop, the chargers. And also you can take down the less extendable brands. Less extendable brands. Example, Cargill's in Sri Lankan context. Bata, that's a rubber slipper supplier. That's a very pioneering brand in Sri Lanka. That's highly attached to the rubber slippers category, so it cannot be used for something. The other one is Godrej. Okay, likewise you may come across with any example. Hope it's clear. And the other one is easy to translate. So when you are putting a name for your product, then make sure that you can, it should be able to translate at least to main languages in the world. Why? Sometimes you may be a very small company now, but who knows in the future, right? You may extend it to another countries. So if you extend into another countries, if that country is using a particular language, from that language you give that brand, it gives like a contradictory meaning. Like Noah, it's a vehicle brand. Okay. In Spanish, Noah means can't move. So then the Spanish, the Noah means can't move. So like Noah, that brand, they are used to the countries where the Spanish is being used as a main language. It failed because people are a little reluctant to purchase that vehicle because thinking that which can't move, having some problems. So that is what here it says that make sure at least like from the, I'm not saying that all the languages, at least the main languages in the world that's being used. So see whether what is the meaning from their language. Extendability. Sorry, easy to translate. Take now. Easy to translate. Should be able to translate. Should be able to translate to main languages in the world. To main languages in the world. Without contradictory meanings. Without contradictory meanings. Example, Noah, automobile brand, in Spanish, can't move. In Spanish, can't move, which is having a contradictory meaning. Okay. Now, the last one. Ability of registration and the legal protection. Like whenever you are putting a brand, like it's an investment because now you are from all your promotions, you are going to build up a good brand. Like you simply take your mobile phone and say the search the world top brands. Search because you might be a little boring after lunch. Just search Google and see world top brands. World top brands. What is coming? The first one. Microsoft. So look at the value of the Microsoft. First is Microsoft, then the second. Second one. Huh? Amazon. Okay, third. Coca-Cola. Third. Fourth. Nike. Fifth. Mercedes. So, oh my God. So the Google is not there in the first top 5 this year. That means last year. So every year it's changing. Okay. So this is 2022 the figures. In 2023, these 5 positions are changing. Okay. So normally Microsoft was the first even last year also. You can see like if you go to the somewhere in the corner, you can see the value and also from a small arrow, it shows that whether it has gone up or gone down compared to the previous time. What's the value of the Microsoft? Billions? How many billions? Now every brand is having a value. Do you understand? Okay. So it's been the recorded in American dollars. So that's why I said that it's an investment. Okay. So we call it as brand equity. It's an asset to a company. But whenever you are putting up a brand, remember that you should be able to protect it. Otherwise, you are building up, overnight someone is copying it. You can't stop it. So that means all the value that you have earned, someone else is also using it. So that's why we want to have a legal protection. But for us to get the legal protection, make sure you are not using a common name. Because if you say Sun, so suppose that I'm having a company and then I'm building up a brand saying Sun, then once I have built up, so once it comes to a good the value as it's shown here, and you also can use the Sun. Because Sun is a common thing, anyone can use it. Understand? That is the danger. You should be able to get the absolute right of using it. Now you can challenge me. There are some brands that it's a common name, but still it's having the protection. Example, what I said was, every brand is having a value. So that whenever you are putting a brand, so you are building up it over the years. So it is ultimately your asset, your company's asset. Even in the financial statement, it is being recorded as an asset. Okay. So therefore, whenever you are putting up a brand, make sure that cannot be copied by the others. So that means you have to get the legal right of using only by your company, because you are the one who is investing for it. For you to get the legal protection, you should not use common name. Because if you use the common name, someone else also come and see that, okay, from next month onward, I will also use it. You can't stop it. But you are the one who has created the baby. Now that baby's benefit is going to be taken by someone else. That is, the theory says. But there are some instances where even being a common brand, well established, others are like they are kind of a protection is also there. Example, Sri Lankan brand and also the global brand. Both cases. Common, the name being used, but still they don't have any problem. If you are using a common brand, there is a room like either you can like write the spellings in a different way. You might have seen in some shops. So they are not the correct spelling. Some of the spellings they purposefully change it. Then it's pronounced as that original way, but writing it in a different way. So that still you can get the absolute right of using it. You might have seen in some shops. So they have a common brand, but in the middle they are using single letter. Yeah, single, yes. What else? Even sunlight is a common thing. Sunlight is sunlight, isn't it? And they have like written in the normal sunlight spellings. But you might have seen they have not registered it. Like a small R being the circle. They can't get the legal protection because it's a common name. No matter how much established it is, the 6 criteria is not there. Someone else also come up with the sunlight brand. The sunlight company Unilever can't say that don't use it. Because you have taken the common thing. Beach, sun. So that's why those brands are not taking as the brand, because someone else also can use it. Unless otherwise, if you are using instead of sun, S-U-N, you can say S-O-N. So like the whatever the different way, that is possible. Even Apple, but they are not using the name. They are using the logo. That's a trick. So the logo has been registered. No one can use the logo, so that's why they are not positioning the name. If they position the name can be used by someone else. So that's why I said that even if it is pronounced the common name, but you can write it in a different way. Then you say that, okay, this is my way of writing, you can't touch it. So I registered. Then it will become a trade name. And you know that what happened to anchor case, since you are practitioners, you may be aware. Anchor is also an anchor, it's a common thing, isn't it? Anchor is anchor, even a logo that they are used like the anchor, the navy, the logo. Means anchor is one that you use to stop the vessel. And you have seen like it has not been registered, they are not having the R small thing. And another, the full cream milk powder company wants to use the anchor brand. Because you can't say that it is only for you. We are also coming up with this milk powder from the anchor. Only option they had was giving millions of money to that company and saying that please don't use it. That's the only option. They didn't. Because they made a mistake whenever they are putting the name. Now slightly they are changing the logo. So just keep eye on. They are slightly changing the logo. It will take some time. Okay. So all these brand logos are being changed. Like if you just the Google and see how the Pepsi logo being changed, the evolution of Pepsi brand. Such today you are very happy. You can have a chance of just Googling certain things. It shows like from the even the Coca-Cola, every brand you just the Google and see, it shows how it's been evolved. So that's what Apple nowadays, they use the logo but not the name, because the name is so dangerous, anyone else can copy it. That's why even like in your companies, when the marketing people, whenever they are coming up with the logos, be careful, don't let them take from the internet. If they are taking from the internet, someone else also taking it from the internet. So then you can't get it registered. Understand? Yeah, so pardon? Yeah, it's not, yeah, that's why it's not a common thing. But the name is common. So that's why they are not using. That's why you see like the way that they are drawing the apple, it's not the apple. So they have taken half, like a small piece out. And even this is just Google and see the evolution of the apple. So earlier this is not like this. When the competition goes up, then they create a unique way. This has been registered. Even this Nike tick, it's a tick, no? But the way that it's been the drawn, we know that it's Nike. Okay, that's like how we have to select and protect our brand. Okay, take down, obtaining the legal protection. Company should not use common name as brand. Company should not use common names as brands. It is because absolute right of using cannot be given to a particular company. Cannot be given to a particular company. Then it cannot be registered as a trade name or trademark. If common names are being used, if common names are being used, common names are being used. The way of spelling needs to be changed. Otherwise, instead of the name, logo should be promoted. Example, Apple. Apple, they never ever use their name, instead the logo. So I'll give you a break, another like 2:30. We'll go for a break, or you have the time, you have the energy to tolerate for another one more topic. The small one, like who is sponsored. We'll finish it off and then go for that one. And then the other decision that we have to make is like who is the owner of the brand sponsor. Like some of the brands are the manufactured brands. Manufacturer is the owner of the brand. Example, whoever handles around the clock, the name belongs to the manufacturer. Toyota brand is being handled by so many car dealers around the globe, but it's not their name, it's the Toyota's name. All the automobile brands using manufacturer's brand. Honda, Nissan, the Ford, BMW, whatever, that's the manufacturer's brand is the one, wherever the market is being used.
Mobile phone.
Even the mobile phone is the same, yes. So you can take down the manufacturer's brand, example, Toyota, Honda, Samsung, Apple. And the other one is private brands. Private brands means like something like this. Now, I'll take Sri Lanka an example. Probably like you will get those kind of examples in the countries where you are in as well. Like in supermarket. So if you supermarkets are mainly handling manufacturer's brand, isn't it? Because almost all the convenient products, suppose that it's from the Unilever, so they are Unilever's brand. It's not the Cargill's brand, or it's not the Kiehl's brand, or the Love brand. So those are the main the supermarket chains in Sri Lanka, and now we have the Glomart as well. Okay, but they are using predominantly they are handling the manufacturer's brand. But there are some instances where they have come across with their own brand, like Kiehl's. They have Kiehl's brand. Okay, little cheaper the price, and also the Cargill's, if I'm not mistaken, My Choice, and the Love, Sunup, S-U-N-U-P, Sunup. So Glomart, I don't know. I don't have an idea. Probably they don't have. We get the private brand. Okay. So then the private brand is something like that. So you have your own brand. Example, Sri Lanka, Kiehl's, the Cargill's My Choice, Kiehl's, Cargill's My Choice, Love, Sunup. And the other one is licensed brand. Licensed brand means that's normally along with the franchise agreement, you get the right of using the particular brand. You have the licensing authority, like McDonald's, KFC, Pizza, Domino's. Along with the franchise agreement, you are being given a right to use that brand. That's called as licensed brand. Even Disney brands Disney, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and those ones. So they are licensed brands. So you might have seen like I have seen one time in the DSI. DSI is a shoe, the manufacturer and trader in Sri Lanka for the children's slippers, and they have put a Disney character and also like a small tag. This is licensed. So that means that they are saying that this is the original one that we are using. Okay? Because you can make the dummy one also. And the last one is co-branding. Co-branding means like you are joining two brands and going as a one brand. So that's basically coming as a result of joint venture agreement like Suzuki Maruti in the Indian case. Suzuki is a one company, Maruti is another company. They joint venture for the operations in India originally. Now it's coming to Sri Lankan market as well. It's a co-brand. Two brands using as a one brand. Suzuki Maruti. Hero Honda, yes. Hero is also from one side, Honda is another side. Now you are using it as just one brand. And Standard Chartered Dreamless, earlier two separate brand. Now it's just one bank operating and then one the co-brands. Okay then. Shall we go for a break then? So then after the break I'll continue the rest. 25 minutes break or 20 minutes? 25. So we'll go for a 25 minutes break and then come back. Have you finished signing your sign-up sheet, attendance sheet? Can I also get it? Hand it. Here is your pen, the one who gave the pen, please. Sudesh Magyar. Sudesh දැන් Oh, Sudesh will not here. Chartered කරන්නේ. මම මතක් කරන්නේ. Product. Then the ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ product එක සමහර විට නැතුව. The pricing ඔයගොල්ලන් කරන්නේ system එකෙන්ද manual එකද ඒක ඊට පස්සේ promotions අනිවාර්යෙන් Facebook එකේ වල මේකට ඉන්න දෙයකට කරනවා. The distribution channels කොහොමද ඔයගොල්ලෝ manage කරන්නේ නිකන් අතෙන්ද නැත්නම් system එකට දානවද කොච්චර segmented targeting position. We can be better. We can buy like a program බලන්න ඕනේ. ඒක අරගත්ත කෙනෙකුට mass marketing යන්නේ. targeting වල තියෙන strategies mass marketing modern trading තියෙනවා. ඔව් ඒ කියන්නේ ඔක යන්නේ mass marketing වල අර අපි කතා කරේ. ඔව් ඒක digitalization එක අදාළ නැහැ. digitalization එක අදාළ වෙන්නේ 4 piece. ඔව් ඒක නිකන් කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේක තමයි අපේ target marketing එක කියන්නේ. ඒක කොහොමද කියන්නේ? එතන ඩිජිටලයිසේෂන් එක අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. මොකද ඒක already done එකක් නේ. මේ බලන්න තියෙන product එකත් එක්ක. අර piece වලට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් combination එක වෙලා තියෙනවා. That's okay. So shall we start now? So if you have like contacts of those who are in the outside, just ask them to come. Wait, 25 minutes beyond? Yeah, I think we have already gone into 25 minutes. Okay. See whether how many weeks that we are left with. We are left with only 1 week, one more week including this one. Shall we start now then? Okay. So after the break, I'm going to take the session again. We have discussed about the brand sponsor and then the brand strategy. Okay. So in the brand strategy, these are the 4 possible branding strategies where it's depending on the product category and the brand that you are using. Where like sometime when you are introducing a new product, you can go with line extension. So what does that mean? Like you are using existing brand and what you are introducing is also in the existing category. Like say for an example, if Lux is introducing the different color of a Lux, still in the soap category, and also the brand is Lux. When Sunsilk is introducing a black color Sunsilk, line extension, because still it's in the Sunsilk category, the shampoo category, and they are using the same brand. When the Kotmale is introducing a new flavor of a milk, that is line extension. So take down the example, line extension, introducing a new version of a product in the same brand, like Kotmale, different flavor. Even Signal they introduce different the flavors, but still they are using this. Still they are in the toothpaste category and also Signal brand. And the other one is like you can guess the meaning from the term itself. So that is how you should absorb this subject. Try your level best to use the common sense. Line extension means for the same line, using the same brand. The brand extension means the existing brand you are going to extend for a different category. Like what Signal did. The Signal earlier toothpaste, but they extended it to toothbrushes. But Cargill's did. The Cargill's originally a supermarket, then extended to a bank. Brand extension. Examples take down. Then the other one is multi-brands. So the multi-brand means like same category, but you are using different brands. Multi means different. Okay? Like if I take Unilever is using this multi-brand. Unilever's portfolio, there are soap means the same category, but different brands. Even cream, you see. Pond's Fair and Lovely, Bestly. All the beauty, the lotions that they are using, and but different brands. Those are examples for multi brands. Even they have Signal as well as Close Up, multi brands. Same category but different brands. What else they have? Yeah, basically those ones we can take as an example. The new brands means like whenever you are going for a new category, you are going with the new brand. So like Godrej did, the existing brand is Godrej, but whenever they are going for a soap category, they went with the new brand of Synthol. Even Softlogic like they have both brand extension and new brands. Softlogic Life, they use the brand extension because the original brand is Softlogic, but they use for the life insurance category as well. So it's a brand extension example. But for Glowmart, again the owner is Softlogic, but they didn't use the Softlogic brand for the supermarket. So they use new brand, Glowmart. So likewise, if you take a particular corporate, they can use these multiple branding strategies. For one extension, they go for brand extension, but for another extension, they decided, okay, we go with a new brand. The ideal example is how the Softlogic is expanding its business. So that is the brand strategy, and the other one is brand repositioning. So brand repositioning means like so sometimes, like I told you, the way that we have position. Okay. Now the other one is like I told you from the beginning also, like uh, we write the brand in the minds of the customer. So sometimes I hope I am audible because there's a huge noise coming out here. The so we are writing the brand in the minds of the customer. So that is what we call brand positioning. We are going to position the brand in the minds of the customer. Sometimes after a particular time period, the brand manager or the marketing manager would think that the way that our brand has been positioned, we are not happy with. So that you want to relaunch it, reposition it. So that is what we call brand relaunching or repositioning. Some examples like in Sri Lanka, those days when we were small, like Elephant House drinks, so that's being positioned as Elephant House drinks. Okay. Not the brands were not there like cream soda, Necto, and those brands were not there. And they say like the Elephant House drinks. And also the way that they have positioned was like 100 milliliters more. That was their positioning approach. So, because the main competitor was Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola had only 300 milliliters in a bottle, but the Elephant House, they had 400 milliliters. So that means 100 milliliters more they can get out of the Elephant House drink. That was their positioning approach. Then after that they realize like people mainly they go for Elephant House drinks so long as the volume required. When the volume is required to be served, then only that is coming to the evoke set. I told you like whatever the evoke set it works. So then those days when the funerals are not there, the funerals are there. So the Nescafe was not there those days. It's just the Elephant House drink. But then the Elephant House drink highly attached with the funerals. Only funeral is there, then the people won't go for Elephant House. So it's a failure positioning strategy because the funerals are not happening always. It's not like the regular product. So they thought like, no, this positioning is wrong. So we have to delete it from the people's mind and we want to write a different way. So what they did was they had a very interesting colors. So then the like orange crush and the cream soda, Necto. So likewise they put different brands and targeted different categories. Necto for children, the cream soda for young generation. So likewise, that is a relaunch, repositioning. It is successful. Now it's there going there. Now no one says that Elephant House drink. And that is a successful case. And there is another successful case in Sri Lanka. The Nestamalt, it has been positioned as good for patients. It had been those days. Okay. So then, whenever you want to visit a patient, you used to have an Nestamalt and visit the patient. If you have a patient at home, then you used to have an Nestamalt. That is not good for the brand wise because you can't penetrate the market. You can't go for volume because when only the patients are there, then the next amount comes. So that it has been positioned affiliated with the patient. Okay? So what they did was like they relaunched from the promotions. Whoever won the energy, go with the next amount. So that's why nowadays they say that if you are a person who needs more energy, you have to start the day with the next amount cup. So still the energy is there, but you are highlighting another use of the energy. And even the Horlicks, same thing. Viva, same thing. That's all malted milk, the meant for patients. But now slowly they are changing it. Even Horlicks, they had to change the production formula as well. Because they put little bit of chocolates. And they say that, okay, this is good for children and who needs more energy in the sports whenever they are in schooling. So those are examples for repositioning. Take down. For that one, they need a massive promotion campaign. Because relaunching or repositioning is not that easy. Even there was a time period in Sri Lanka, like the people start talking about like Anchor is having some the ingredients with that cause cancer, something coming from the Australia. So then it reflected in the New Delhi as well. So what the New Delhi did was it's again a repositioning strategy. So they came to the commercial and saying that this is made from the Sri Lankan fresh milk. And even they had to open their factories and let people to come and see that. You see, we are not importing fresh milk from Australia. So we are getting the fresh milk from Sri Lanka. From that fresh milk only we are making New Delhi ice cream so that it's safe to have New Delhi. Understand? It's kind of a repositioning. So time to time it's required. Even Maggie. So once in India, like it's realized that the cancer causing the ingredients are there, then they had to now in the promotion they are saying that no MSG or something they highlighting. That is just to reposition that now it doesn't have any preservations. Okay, likewise we have to go with these branding decisions. Those are the predominantly the decisions that a brand manager should make when it comes to branding. They are clear. Then the other one, when it comes to packaging, we have to be concerned about when it's come to product strategy, we have to be concerned about the package, like how we are going to design the package. Those days, like packaging predominantly just for protection, just to give the protection. But now, like that has been used as the 5th P, product price place promotion package. Why is that? Because of the modern trade. Because if we take soap, all the soaps are in one shelf. So you have to sell yourself. So the package should be very attractive to get the customer's attention and sell itself. If the package is very dull, no one's attention will go. So that is why it says that we are using it as a marketing tool. So that should be the promotional flavor should be there in the package because of the competition, especially coming through the modern trade for FMCG products. And also it should be something convenient to handle as well. Like there are some packages, it's very difficult to handle, like some example, that Kotmale, that milk packet. So it has a packet and the hole is somewhere in the corner and it's very difficult for you to put the straw in it. So it's a kind of the challenge, like you have to put the straw without spilling. So it's a convenience, it's not there in that kind of design. And also you can use the package, like keep the product as it is, but just by changing the package, you can go for upper market. Chocolates, same ingredient, but if you change the package, you can keep the package up. Like, I can't remember because it was long time ago, I used to buy chocolates, like the chocolates with like the red rose. So that is very expensive. Yeah, that I can't remember the brand. Yeah, Promises or something. Yeah. So I'm not in the age of eating a chocolate, so that's why I can't remember those ones. But it's the same chocolate. But just by changing the package, you uplift the price. Coca-Cola can. The entire mega bottle is like only 300 rupees. This is only 120 milliliters, almost 200. Understand? Okay. You just go to the supermarket and check the price of the Coca-Cola can and the mega bottle, the volume, drastic difference. Because a can is for another use. So you are catching up a different target market. So they are using it as a kind of a fashion. So just to show that they are being westernized. Okay. So that they can charge. But only package different. Same Coca-Cola is in it. And the alcohol, so the fancy bottles, but the same vodka. And even some cosmetics, some slight change of the production formula. If the white top, the silver top, or the gold top, based on the package, the prices are going up. The other one is labeling, like you have to be concerned about what is in it, like that is playing a promotional role plus information role, because that needs to promote itself. At the same time, you have to provide the essential information, like what ingredients and like the responsible person and made, and the barcodes and even some nutrition value if it is the kind of food item, even a beverage. And depending on the country where you are sending your product, like some countries it says that you have to make sure, like here this one, halal mark. And also like some cases say that if it is having peanuts, so it says that the peanut cause cancer, sorry, the peanut cause allergy, something like that, okay? Because it's allergy for some people, so that you have to the right in the label itself. And even some of the legal requirement, like the smoking cause cancer, like the majority of the label should occupy the picture of the negative consequences that you have to consider. Now let's discuss a little bit about the services. Okay, that's the product part is over. The services, like it's any activity or benefits that one party can offer to another that is essentially intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything. So when you are getting exposed to a service, it doesn't mean that you are getting the ownership of something. So which has special characteristics. Service is not something tangible. Of course, you can't touch and feel, like you might use the public transport, but of course, you can touch the driver and the conductor, but not the service. Okay. You take a lot of the services like banking and even the education, so no tangibility. Okay. And the other one is inseparable. Service cannot be separate from the service provider. Service provider must be there to give the service. So sometimes it's really challenging. So one time, instead of me, I had to send an assistant because the service cannot be separate from the service provider. I must be there to give the service. Unless otherwise, I should be replaced. Okay. So that was the only case which I left with because I can't cancel your lecture. So I sent her. She's my assistant. So that gives the characteristic variability. Now you are doing so many subjects, so many lecturers, so many patterns. So it's highly depending on the person who provides the service. If you go to a people's bank and also commercial bank, two different people, you get a two different service. Understand? So that is because of the variability. And also perishability, you can't store. If it is a physical product, having said that the new year is coming, so I hope the people will again start eating the biscuits because people stop eating biscuits. Otherwise, in the festival, festival season, it's increase the demand, either for the consumption purpose or else for the gift purpose. Okay, we purchase the biscuit for gifting purposes also. So then, that company can forecast the demand and can do some extra production shift and manufacture and keep it reserved. But at the same time, when the school vacation is over, when the holiday is over, if you have a long holiday, maybe Christmas holiday or New Year holiday, then just before the work starting, the salons are really busy, isn't it? Because you want to get your hair cut because you had been in your vacation, so you didn't consider about the hair and everything. Now you want to go to either to school, send your children to school, or else to yourself, you have to start working. Then you have to be in a queue. Why? Haircut cannot be reserved. You can't manufacture the haircut in advance and just purchase it and fix it your head. You can't do it in that way. So that is what is called perishable. So the production and the consumption happen simultaneously in services. You should go and sit on the salon, then only the production starts. So you should go and sit in front of a doctor, then only the prescribing is starting. So that is what we call perishability. So because of these special characteristics, managing service is more challenging. Because since it's intangible, you can't ensure the quality. Because if you want to buy the pair of slippers, at least you can try and see. Understand? If you want to buy an automobile, you can have a test drive and see whether I can drive this. But if you want to get an insurance, no way. So therefore, since the tangibility is not there, it's very hard for a service organization to show their quality. So what they are using for it. Now, the CA Sri Lanka are also education service provider. There is no way that they can show the quality before you are starting your process. You have to undergo in the process whatever the time period, then at the end, then you say that whether it's a quality or not. Understand? Beforehand, how they show that they are providing quality service. They have to show, otherwise you will not be attractive. To attract the customers, service organization also should reflect the quality. But there is no way of reflecting the quality because no tangibles. How they are doing it? Any clue?
Testimonials.
Yes, you can use testimonials. So which way of testimonials for the education that they are using? Because testimonials, like, yes, possible. But for a service, which kind of testimonials? Like an education institute?
Maybe the students who have passed through
Yes.
from
So I
them.
don't know whether, yeah, I don't know whether it has happened in your open day, I mean the orientation. For some programs, in the the orientation day, so they are inviting a previous batch student to share the experience. That is to bring more tangibility, to develop the trust. Understand? What else they do? Why they are maintaining Superclass website? Why they are maintaining this kind of like teaching environment to reflect the quality? Because you come here and you look at, if this is like a very conventional and very traditional, you might say, oh come on, is this a service that I'm going to get it? Why if you go to a hotel, so the hotel they are keeping the surrounding very beautiful, because just by looking at the surrounding, then you have a kind of the expectation, okay, the service also should be high. So if you go to a hospital where the hospital look like it's really smelly, then you wonder whether you are going to live or die. Understand? Okay. So those are because you have to bring the tangibility in a different aspect, since the tangibility is not there. And the also they say that like I don't know, because I was not there for your orientation day. So they might be. In fact, like today morning, I had to speak in the oriented. That's why I'm taking those examples in Slim MBA program where I'm teaching. So then they want to get a lecturer to speak. So they are saying that we have this kind of qualified people. Showcase, isn't it? So I don't know how that the Chartered Institute did it for you when you are starting off your program. So that is to bring the tangibility. And if you go to some private hospitals and they say that, okay, we have this qualified doctors, people factor, isn't it? So that reflect inseparability. If you have good people, you get a good service. And you might be like, don't you think like the perishability means you can't reserve a service, but now the lectures are being recorded. Then you can listen later on. Because my initial argument was, unlike a physical product, you can't keep it manufactured for the future use. Now the recordings are there in the Moodle. You can have a watch. But to have the recording, I should come. So then at least like that, it's a nice argument. The technology, it's challenging some of these attributes, but not fully. And even like we say that when the doctor is saying that, okay, I can accommodate only 10 patients per day. I can only consult for 10 patients. So you are taking one number that is reserved for you. How do you say that the service cannot be reserved? Because out of that 10 number, you have taken number 1. That's already that time slot is blocked for you. So that's against the perishability. But if you didn't go there, so next day if you just go there and say that last day I couldn't come, can you let me in? They say that no, it's over. You take another number and come. Understand? Okay. So you can reserve your time, but unless otherwise, if you are there and take it, it's gone. So you have to be present to start the production of the service. So that's why in a service organization, doing marketing is more challenging, because So if you take a company, in a physical product organization, we are very much concerned about how we deal with the customers. Okay. So that we are using 8 P's. Okay. In a service organization, we use 8 P's because we have to offer the best to customer. What those 8 P's are? Product, price, place, promotion, package, people, process, and physical evidence. So those are the 8 P's. Okay. But in this case, in a service organization, employees are playing a the vital role. Why? Because the tangibility is not there. You are showing the quality from the employees. So that's why if you go to a hotel, very beautiful ladies are there in the front line. You show the quality, isn't it? And also in an education institute, so they maintain the lecturer's profile. And in a hospital, they say that we have these qualified doctors. That means people factor is very important. And it is also important because of the variability and the inseparability. You can't separate the person from the service that person is giving, and also it's depending on the person to person. If you want to get a good service, you have to get that's why people do the headhunting. The headhunting is mainly done, especially in the service organization, especially like insurance. So they take the headhunter because they know that along with the head that they hunt, all the customer base also coming. Because in insurance, not the package important, but the relationship you build up is important. There are some services where the salesperson, the rapport the person is having with the customer base is more important, but the package gives. So the people factor, employees are very much important for service organization, so that the company should do marketing for their own employees. You have to treat your employees as your customers. You have to understand them. You have to keep them happy. And even like though I'm a lecturer in marketing, like so I do research this side as well, because whatever we can have nice concepts in the company, but to make it happen is depending on the employees. The employee is not having a good attitude, then our concept is just a concept. You just imagine Sri Lanka, the public sector, the bank and the private sector bank. In terms of the technology, both same. In terms of the surrounding, both same. In terms of the services that they are giving, like the facility wise, both same. Okay. But of course we know that if you get to a public bank and a private bank, so it's like a nightmare to get a service from the public bank because of the people. They are not having much of a supportive attitude. So therefore, we should understand interactive marketing is something very important. Like how employees interact with the customer to give the service. Like that's why sometimes when you go to some doctors, like you wish to go to some doctors not because the medicine, because you know nothing about the medicine, but you love to go to that doctor because the way that the doctor is speaking with you. Understand? Okay. Otherwise, you don't know what medicine the person is giving because it's that doctor's technology, the technical skill. But people will very comfortable with some people approach. And even when you go to a salon and some people just want to get the service from a particular person, the way that the person is handling the customer. So therefore, we should understand, like you have to pay a lot of attention for interactive marketing, how you let your employees to deal with the customer friendly. That makes a huge difference in services. So that we need additional 3 P's. Process. So why the process is important? Because production and consumption happen simultaneously. You have to go and take a seat to start your haircut. It won't happen beforehand. So therefore, if the employee is making a mistake, that has already been delivered. Your hair has already been cut. That cannot be pressed, isn't it? That is very challenging. So therefore, the process is something you have to be very carefully design and also implement. Like if you take, just sharing some experience. Like last week, I wanted to extend my son's passport that has been expired. So then, in the website, the process is very clearly mentioned. So I follow the steps because it's a service. Okay. So I follow the steps and then put the appointment and all the documents. I went there. But once we went there, so myself and son was running here and there. That means something wrong with the process. The nice process, but it's a concept. The people, those who are really practicing it, so if we ask because some of the boards are there, but some boards is missing. Like it's not the self-directed one. Even if you're asking from the people, those who are like the minor staff, so they just say only the half. So it's not just like when I was having the chat with one of my friends. So then very senior member in the university. So he said that yes, I also had the same experience because he's a dual passport owner and he wants to extend the Sri Lankan passport. He had the same experience because by the time when I was going there and he said that, Amila, have you taken a water bottle? Then I was asking, okay. Then we took a water bottle hassle, then it has become another hassle because you have to go here and there with that water bottle also. Oh my God, the Sri Lankan process is so hectic. Then he said that when he wants to get his New Zealand passport renewal, it's just a matter of going to the website and upload certain documents. It comes automatically. So you see, the process is it's even if you go to a bank, the People's Bank, just step in. Suppose that you want to pay suddenly, no one is guiding you, so you also there. Okay, there is a queue. The service, whatever the logos and everything is there. You are standing and you are going in the queue. And once you go to the place and saying that no, you are going the other queue, but you have been already there in the queue for a long time. Something wrong with the process. So therefore, you have to be very much careful in terms of designing the process. That's really feel the customer. And the other one is the physical environment. So the physical environment means like the surrounding. So that includes everything. So we call it as servicescape and provide the tangible evidence in the service performance, because in a service tangibility is not there. So you are trying to show the quality through the physical evidence, like all the surroundings. That includes like building, interior design, furniture, vehicle, all the equipment, staff, how they are keeping the staff very clean and tidy, sound, smell, and all the tangibles. Like especially, you might have seen in your workplace, the company is very particular about the sales staff, appearance of the sales staff, not the other staff, because they know that other staff is not in touch with the customers. But the sales staff is the one that's touching the customers, so therefore their appearance, not the beauty, but the pleasant looking, whether they are organized. And even from the companies, they are giving vehicles. So just go and see on the road, so long as if the company name is being printed on the vehicle, those vehicles are always very clean. It's a must, not a personal vehicle. Unless otherwise, suppose that if your vehicle looks very ugly, the boss will call you and say that, is it the way that you are maintaining it? Return it. Because it's like the brand that you are going to position in the market. Physical evidence. Okay. And also, like as I told you, like for the frontline employees, they want people to look very nice for the frontline employees, not the one those who are in the kitchen. Understand? And even the colors they are using for the interior. So now this has been why the classroom has predominantly been used white color. Everywhere it's white. Why is that? Even the floor and the wall, ceiling, everything is white. To show that it's clean and also show that it's big. because with the white always you get kind of an expansion. Okay. So if you go to a hospital, that either the green, half green, like the below side is green because white you can't maintain, it will get dirty, but the other half white to show that it's very clean. Okay. And if you go to a restaurant, if the restaurant is only a takeaway restaurant, you might see very even you can let very fast moving music to run because you don't want people to stay. Understand? Okay. But if you go to a dining restaurant, if a fast moving the music is running, it's asking you to go out quickly. It's against. So more the time you stay, more you eat. Then if it is a dining, more you eat is best because more you eat, more you have to pay. Understand? Okay. So every it has a kind of a strategic point for how these people are, and also the lighting they are using. So in some restaurant which has some personal room where all the curtains and everything, make it dark. The lighting and all the interior. And even in hotels, have you ever seen the hotels are using different colors of plates or predominantly white? It's mainly white. Why is that? Why the hotels are using white plates? Whatever the hotel, from 5-star to no stars. Huh? Yes, one message they are going to say that the cleanliness, we are clean. And the other message, even if you eat a small portion, because we don't eat to the tummy, the majority of the people don't eat to the tummy but to the mind. So your mind should be happy that you have eaten substantial amount. So that's why the people those are with the dark color plate, even if you are eating a mountain, you don't feel like you ate something complete. But if you have a white plate and you have served enough, and then once you have completed, and for your mind is happy that I have eaten this much because it looks bigger. So that's why even if you go 5-star hotel, a small cake piece is there, but it's been decorated. Otherwise, the real food is very small. But once you ate it, you are happy that you have taken a substantial amount. Everything is physical evidence. The one side you are saving, and the other side you are passing a good message to customers. And even nowadays, I don't know whether you all have figured it out, the size of the plate has gone down in the hotels. Physical evidence, and that they keep the just below the just noticeable difference. You won't notice. The size of the plates has gone down. You won't notice, but it has gone down. That's all physical evidence. And even the some hotels, they have changed the glass, the shape of the glass, especially for juice bars. So some instead of having the fat one, they make the glass very thinner, but it looks tall. If you just put that volume to a normal cup, very small volume. But you feel like, I had a very big glass. It's not really big. Otherwise, the bottom is very tiny. Like you have ice cream, the bottom part anyway you can't take out. That's all physical evidence. Okay. So therefore, from the physical evidence, we can do a miracle in a service organization. Either you can pass a good message, or else you can save. If you are going to save, you have to keep that below the just noticeable difference, people will not recognize it. And the other one is the people factor, where, as I said, even in this diagram also, people, those who are in our company, if it is a service organization, it's very important. Okay. Therefore, so we have to make sure that we are recruiting a correct person. In fact, like this will be another crisis in the world, because in the world now the technology is changing the conventional business processes into another business processes. Okay, and if the people's skills, so it's not the knowledge, that is the skill and the attitude. Knowledge, of course, you can get it from anywhere, because nowadays a lot of online programs are there, so you can learn any subject. So it's just a matter of going to the YouTube series and learning. That's it. But the skill is the one that you can't get it. Like, I'll give a simple example. The if I ask from anyone in this class how to make a tea, everyone knows, isn't it? That is the knowledge. It's so simple. You put this one, this one, this one. So that's how you make a tea. Okay? So the knowledge you can get it from it. So that the knowledgeable employees are freely available, widely available. But how many of you can make a tea without wasting and a way that another person can drink? Tea is drinkable and also you are not wasting, because if you make three cups of tea, so sometime another 6 is a waste. Just think about how you are making tea at home. So you have to serve only 2 people, but you are making like for 4, 5. The rest is no one is there to drink. Or else, like, once you serve that tea, the visitors, they normally, as per the Sri Lankan case, like, they won't tell. So they are just only sip and keep it and go, because no one can drink it. That too is also a waste. What is the lacking part there? Skill. You know, but you don't know how to do it. That is the one here it says. The people with the skill, it's running out now. So if you go to any service, there may be doctors, but the way that they are treating, the disease may not rescue. There's something wrong with the skill. And the other part is attitude. You can make a tea, but the way that you are serving shows your attitude. Understand? You can just give the tea like this. Like when your husband or wife is not like friendly with you, just put the tea. Have it. Attitude. But it's the same tea. Sometimes it's drinkable, but the way that you're offering shows whether you like it or not. Understand? Once we are being go to certain places, how the customers are being treated, that shows the attitude. So that's what here it says, that in a service organization, don't go for the certificates. Give the priority for the skill and the attitude that you can't get. So therefore, like in a service organization, this is something very important, people factor. So which kind of people that you are using, you are recruiting, and you have to be with the people with the correct attitude, because attitude is something you can't change. Even skill, like to making a tea, first time you say 4 is a waste, the next time 2 is a waste, another time 1 is a waste. At least with the time you will get to know skill you can develop, but the attitude you can't. So when you get a visitor and you are always saying that, oh, come on, I have to make a tea for this person, then that you can't change. And here, the one more thing which I would like to tell you, nowadays, especially in the service organization, people says that in that would be the challenge the entire human resource management concepts. We say that normally we have to let people in and let people work in an organization. Now the trend, like that, of course, something we as a team we are going to tell to the world. Like you have to give more freedom to people. More the freedom you give, more they give out to the company. Like sometimes just think about, like if you are going to an organization and that is starting to work at 9 o'clock, and then it will work, the work say it's 9 to 5. Okay? Either you have a work or not, you have to be in 9 to 5. But it's just think about a situation where 9 to 5 is there, but you have the flexibility. Even if you get late in the morning, that doesn't matter so long as you are covering up the work. Even if you have finished the work, like at 3 o'clock, you have finished all your work and the boss say that now you can go home. You don't need to wait. You go home and you be with your family. So the next day, even if you want to work overnight, you would be thinking, that day I went early, I was with my family. So now, before boss is asking me to do extra work, I would say that, okay, I will do it. Okay. So that's like the handling people is the most difficult task in the future. Okay. So therefore, like especially service organization, you have to be concerned about that. That is the end of product and including the services. So since the time is there for another couple of minutes, I just start the pricing, but I will not go for that more detail. So that the next week is the only week that we have for the class, and then the week after we have the presentations, isn't it? So if I'm finishing off this, so the next week we can do a bit of a revision. So I'm finishing this one, and so we'll have some questions. Now we have designed the product and we want to mount a price for our product. These are the session outlines, so I'll be taking you through. Nothing to say, price is the amount that you pay for a particular product or service. When you are setting up a price, what are the factors that you have to consider? I would say you are considering a couple of C's. C, the letter C. The one thing you are considering is the customer. Customer is starting from C. So what you are considering, customer's value perception. Because like if this is a water bottle, you have to consider how much the customer see a value in this. So accordingly you have to price. Okay. So that is what here it says, customer value perception. That shows the price ceiling. Price ceiling means the maximum price that you can charge. You can't charge beyond that point. You can charge, of course, people will not buy it. Because like if you are charging for the small kind of a water bottle, say 200 rupees or 300 rupees, you can charge, but no one is going to buy it. Okay, because they won't see that value in the bottle. Okay. And the other C is cost. Customer cost. And the other one, the cost means the amount of money that you have spent to manufacture and until it goes to the customer's hand. Because sometimes it might be handling by the wholesalers, retailers, and you may have to pay for some distribution. So everything you have to cover up. So then that is the price flow. That means the minimum value that you can charge from the customer because it has to cover up the cost. So if you are putting up a price, the below the flow level, that means from a 1 unit you are making a loss because you have not covered up even the cost. So that's why here it's saying that the cost is attached with the flow and the value attached with the ceiling. So you should not charge more than the ceiling because people will not buy it. You should not charge below the cost. So that means you are making a loss. So the price should be something in between. So where in between, you have to consider another 2 C's. Company situation. What my company's policy? What my company's marketing strategy? So like if you take the Apple, their strategies always go with the high price. Because they say that we are superior in terms of the product, so the price should also high. Okay. So that's why here I said that you have to look at your marketing strategy, the objectives, and the nature of the market. So basically marketing mix, the company side. That is the other C. Now I explained 3 C's. Customer's value perception, cost, the company, and the other one is the competition. So like you take your product or service and compare it with the competitor's product or the service. And if the competitor is superior than yours, you have to keep the price a little low because people compare those ones. But if you giving is much superior than the competitor, certainly you can keep a higher price. So the model is reflecting that 4 C's: customer, competitor, cost, and the company. It's very easy for you to remember. Like here we are talking about the setting up a price for a product. This is under marketing. Wherever marketing, you have to come the customer and the competitor. Okay, so one is customer value perception and the other one is competition. Now we want to put a price. Price means you have to consider the cost as well, and it's something relevant to the company. So that's how you can remember those ones. Now, in the pricing, whenever we are putting up a price, there are some pricing approaches. The one is value based and the other one is cost based. Again, you don't need to memorize those ones. Cost based means cost based. Value based means value based. It's something like this. Whenever you are putting up a price, where you are based starting off. If your base is starting off with the cost, that is a cost base. Something like this. First you design the product and you see like how much does it cost you to bring that product to the market. Then you set the price accordingly. You put up a markup and you set the price likewise. Then that is the one that you are going to deliver to the customers. Where is the starting point? Cost. Based on the cost, you put up a margin and you say that this is the price. And the finance, the accounting perspective, this is wrong. This is correct. But marketing perspective, this is wrong. Why? Why from this? Here it says that this is a wrong way. But since you are coming from the finance discipline, so you don't see any the fault in this approach. This is correct, isn't it? So then why it is say it's wrong from the marketing perspective? What is the criticism against this approach? Anyone? From the virtual class and the physical class? Why marketeers are criticizing this approach? But this is the accountant's approach. You do costing from this approach. Why? What is the criticism against this? What is missing here? Something is missing here. What is missing? Any clue from any side? Customer value perception has not been considered because I told you like we don't buy a product but we buy the value attached to it so that they pay for the value, but here it has not considered the value. They have considered the cost, that's it. So the value based means you start off with the value, then accordingly you put the price. It's like this. So assess the customer needs and the value perception of a particular product. If you are just take Apple phone, are they paying for features or are they paying the value attached to it? Value attached to it. Okay. Otherwise, they can get the same features from another phone, but not the brand name. Okay. So then first you see like how much value the customer is looking from that product. And then you set the price accordingly. Then you see whether is it covering up the cost. Because even in this approach also, marketers are saying that it's a correct approach. You can't compromise the profit motive. Because in the marketing, it's not there to compromise the profit margin. From the beginning itself, we say that all whatever you do, that should be ultimately ended up with the profit. Not sooner, maybe later. So that we don't say as profit, we say it as profitability, ability of making the profit. So therefore, in whatever the strategy, you have to adhere to it. Here it's saying that it's okay, you put up a price as per the value, but see whether it's covering up the cost. And then you make it as the final price that goes to the customer. Clear? Then you don't need to memorize this. Value base means starting point is value. And then set the price, see whether cost is covered, then it is the final price. Cost base means the base point is cost. So first you calculate the cost, set the price, and that is the final price that you are going to repeat. Any question? So the price is anyway, it's an easy topic. Now, the how we are going to set up a price. Like what are the steps that the marketeers will follow up whenever you are setting up a price?
Costs.
Cost. Yeah, you have to consider the cost. So I will tell you like, so these kind of processes, how many processes has you have been exposed in your syllabus? Some other subjects also there? How many of these kind of processes that you might be there in your syllabus? Whatever the descriptive subject, you will get this kind of process. So how we are going to memorize them? Cram. Just memorizing. So if the step is missing, the missing for the forever. No? Other steps also not coming, isn't it? In the memorizing technique, if a one step miss, the remaining steps also not. Just imagine like you miss the second step, the other steps also won't come to your mind. So how we are going to memorize this one? Because it's very easy for me to tell it. It won't take 5 minutes. Just blah blah blah, and I don't mind that you are going to remember it or not. But I don't want to happen it in that way, because I told you at the beginning, marketing to live subjects are very practical. So I want to see that you are like memorizing everything. Keep the memory for some other subject, not for marketing. How? We have to have a logic in it. There is a logic. Try to see that logic. So whenever you are putting up a price, I told you you have to consider certain things. Now you are going to put up a price. See whether the things are there in this one. I told you along with this, these are some of the factors that you have to consider when you are setting up a price. Now you are going to set up a price. That factor should be here as well. This is a management decision. So every management decision is starting off with an objective. Without an objective, you can't start any process. So that is the first step. So sometimes you will start with even a target market. Then, since this is marketing, always you have to give the priority for the customers. Yes, you have, as a company, you have a motive, you have an objective. That is the company, I said, 4 C's. So, as a company, you have a particular direction. But the problem is, immediately with that direction in your mind, you have to go and see, how about my market? How much they are price sensitive? Then it's the customer. Then after that you see that, okay, if this is the nature of my customers, then this is pricing, so that I have to be very much concerned about the cost. That is other C. Then marketing, it's all about something you do better than competitors do. So the other C is coming, competitor. So that 4 C's are there, 4 steps. You start with the company motive. Since it's marketing, you first give the customers. And since this is about the costing, and then always before finalizing your price, you have to match it with the competitors. Then only you say that, okay, what method I'll use, and then it's your final price. Understand? Okay. So once you are like developing a story in these steps, that story will remember, not the steps. So let's see like what kind of objectives are there. There are a couple of objectives. So sometimes the company wants to just survive. If the company wants to just survive, So they have to put a bit of a lower price. They're not worried about like the profit. Okay. But if they want to maximize the current profit, then of course if you want to get a more profit, your price should be high. Okay. Because you don't need to worry about like the survival. The running the business is not your motive. Today you want to get the profit, that's it. Because you are not quite sure about the tomorrow. So then you have to have a higher price if your motive is like this. Sometimes like it is not the profit more important, but the market volume, market share is very important. So that you want to increase the volume. To increase the volume, you want to have a higher price or lower price. Reasonable price, lower price, isn't it? Okay. And sometimes like the motive is to market skimming. Market skipping, you know, like what's the skipping is doing? You're just jumping, isn't it? Okay. So market skimming is something like that. You come for a higher price, then with the time, the price goes down. You skim the market. Which kind of product that it's happening?
Mobile phones.
Mobile phones, yes. So when the latest version is coming, it's common for a affluent price. Even a lot of technical products are like that. Even the cameras, laptops, yeah. So those kind of technical, because you are coming with the latest technology, so it's high. But once the technology is being outdated, the price is also getting down. So that is what we call market skimming. Or else you want to show that you are a product quality leader. You want to show that you are the one who provides the best quality, so that your prices is also a bit high. Then you have to look at the customer side, whether your customers are sensitive to the price or not. You have to look at the demand side. There are certain products where customers are very sensitive to the price, like some FMCG products. So based on the price, they quickly switch the brand from one to another. But for certain product, it's not price sensitive. Like what? FMCG price sensitive. So then if you are a company which is handling a FMCG product, you have to be concerned about it. And inelastic demand, I mean, it's not price sensitive. People, like which kind of product? You said something, sorry.
I said fuel.
Fuel, yes, not price sensitive. That's why the Sri Lankan government nicely increasing the price. No matter like how much it is, like going up to the rocket speed, to earn, you have to go. You can't go by walking. So that's electricity, yes. So just because of it went up, like you can control the consumption, but up to a certain limit. What else?
Gas.
Gas, yes. So long as if you are having a particular cylinder, you have to live with it. Even if you go for the other cylinder, now it's a oligopoly market. Both are the more or less the same. What else? Medicine. No choice. If you have a certain diseases, either you live or die if not spending for medicine, not price sensitive. So that's why medicine prices are going up. What else? Some of the essential product like rice. So why no matter like since rice is a staple food in Sri Lanka, so no matter like how much the price is good, people want to have rice, even a bread. So in the election, why all the politicians are using the bread as the political tool? So all the politicians, they are having their meal probably just before the talk in the stage. They might be having the superior class meal in a hotel, but they are coming to the stage with the bread. Why? The bread is the one that either decide you are going to the parliament or you are going home. That is essential product. All the essential products are priced inelastic. Okay. Whatever the price, people should eat it. What else? Alcohol, tobacco. So it's not essential, but for some people it's essential so long as they are being addicted. The drugs, so that's why those prices are really high. Because sometimes the people don't have money to eat, but people have money to drink. that's been addicted. So then you should understand this is the nature of my demand, so that I have to, it gives a direction where I should keep my price. I have covered up only these two, and the cost is like it's include everything. So, like it should include everything, not the production cost, until it goes to the final market. Then other ones I will discuss next day. There's no questions. So I'll stop for today, and then the next week is the last day of the syllabus, and so we are on time. Like certainly, I can finish other two topics the next week class, and also if I'm keeping the last week for the assignment presentation, I'm taking bit of revisions next week. So try your level best to not to miss the class, because you won't absorb the subject just by listening recording. Recording is not a productive way of getting absorbed. Okay, and wish you a good weekend for tomorrow. Excuse me. Yeah. In the assignment, like the presentation time period is 15 minutes. I'm not that worried about it, but try your level best to finish it 15 minutes, but don't go for half an hour, because then it will be not fair for the others, because I should also ask questions. Huh? 13 groups now, so then the 15 minutes is ideal. 10-15 minutes.